So the problem that we're focusing on is one which we think keeps smart contracts limited to tokenization, right? If the native functionality you have when you start working with a smart contract network is the ability to make tokens, that's the functionality you'll start working with, and you'll do a lot of interesting things with it. The capabilities of smart contracts go far beyond tokenization. There's enough logic to mimic and eventually replace the majority of digital financial agreements. You don't want a contract that's highly secure, that's triggered by a highly insecure system, and that pays out through another highly insecure system.
And we're joined here by Sergey Nazarov, co-founder and CEO of Secure Asset Exchange. Sergey, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
How's your Coin Congress going so far?
It's great, lots of smart people.
Now, tell us, we were kind of chatting off camera, and you had kind of just side groups. Tell us what was going on in those kind of small discussion groups.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the focus right now is on smart contracts and how you can get smart contracts working into some form of minimal viable product to get it out into the market, because I think a lot of people are eager to see the potential of the blockchain be realized.
They've done this with anywhere from 5, 10, 15, 20 individual node operators, so that if one fails or if one is attacked, it doesn't compromise the execution of the contract.
Now the world that we're going towards is a world where it's greatly simplified. It's a world where there's basically a smart contract, which is smart as far as everything that it needs to be smart about. It knows about all the data related to the contract. It knows about all the payments that happened because it executed them. And it's a trusted mechanism that both parties can rely on completely, to the point that they don't even necessarily need to keep redundant records across departments, right?
The world we'd like to be in a year or 2 years, relatively soon, is the ability for a contract to reach out to another contract on-chain, and for that on-chain contract to represent an off-chain resource, so that a smart contract developer no longer needs to learn APIs. They have an entire list of contracts on-chain, which we call Chainlinks, but are basically oracles, that represent every type of data, off-chain payment mechanism, e-signature, basically any web service that a web developer gets access to build their application is a service that a smart contract developer should be able to get access to from a contract on-chain.
I answered the short-term piece of what we want to do in the short term. I can just tell you what would be cool in the long term. The thing that kind of keeps me up at night, and the thing that gets me super excited, is that right now somebody like in Papua New Guinea or wherever could discover oil, right? They can discover a natural resource, they can discover something of value. And within the current system, they can make a ton of promises that they know at the time that they're making them, they might not have to keep, because the legal infrastructure and the banking infrastructure and all these things that are supposed to enforce their promises, they won't, right? And that's why a lot of folks that control resources that really, in terms of just terms, belong to other people, make false promises, right? So the really cool thing, I think, would be if in the future, somebody gets a natural resource, or somebody gets a piece of a company or something that does belong to a larger group of people. And instead of them going out and making a bunch of vague promises, and we have a vision, and we have a this, and we have a that, instead of all these wonderful, nice terms to get to placate people into doing their will, they will make a smart contract.